I feel like obviously you've heard a lot of these questions already today. You were on Ariel Helwani's show earlier, so I'm sure you've been asked about Adesanya and Daniel Cormier a lot, and unfortunately I think we're probably about to do the same thing. But with Israel, what exactly do you think has started the ill temper between you two? I know that you first of all commented on him saying you think that fight could happen. Do you think he's the one that took it to the next level?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, a lot of these young fighters, I'm the goal, or the pinnacle, and these guys' coaches. It starts with these coaches saying you can beat John Jones one day, or this is probably what John Jones does to train, or blah 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 blah. I think a lot of these guys hold me as a standard, and we're in the fight business. So when someone mentions your name, you just want to retaliate, and we're fighters, so things get steamy real fast. But Israel as a person, I really don't hate him or anything like that. I wish him all the best, and if he wants to fight, we can do that. But I got no ill will towards him.
Can you relate to that mindset, because you yourself came into this sport very young, and I'm sure you had your own goals? So
100%.
is it easier to understand, even if it is a little bit like, oh, stop saying my name?
It is. For me, it was always Lyoto Machida. From the time I was super young, my coaches were always trying to train me to beat Lyoto Machida. Lyoto does this, or he wouldn't do that, or Lyoto drinks his own piss, whatever. He's committed. He was committed to.
You never tried?
Nah, nope. But but I get it. I get it. I get why people call me out or say things, or I want to beat John, or I can beat John. It makes you look cool first to go after the top dog in the sport, and that's what everyone should be doing anyways. They should be striving to take on the best guy and to beat the best guy one day. I mean, that should be the goal.
On to DC now. I've heard you talk about if you're going to fight him again, it needs to be at light heavyweight, because you said that he's supposedly so great at heavyweight, you'd need to be fairly reimbursed to take that risk. But I also get the sense that you don't feel any need to take his heavyweight title. In fact, I think maybe you'd be just as content, or if not more so, taking it from someone else. Is that true?
Yeah, that's very true. I have no personal vendetta against Daniel Cormier. I feel like I've done enough to him, by putting 2 losses or a loss on his record. And it's not personal enough for me to just go after Daniel Cormier because it's him. I've had the opportunity to fight many heavyweight champions over the years, and I've never challenged any of them because my lane is in the light heavyweight division. I make the weight class just fine, and if it's not broke, don't fix it, they say, right?
Do you think people are overlooking Santos ahead of this fight?
I think a lot of people are overlooking him, but I think a lot of people have faith that he can be the guy. I'm not overlooking him. I've been training extremely hard for this fight. I study his fights on a weekly basis, and I'm working out several times a day, and I take him very seriously.
Is this the fight that you never had with Rumble Johnson, against a hard-hitting guy with perhaps maybe a bit more wild technique?
No, I don't look at it that way. I think all the guys have knockout power that I've faced. I just think you have to be smart enough to land the shot, and so far no one's been clever enough to land the shot.
If he comes out really aggressive in round 1, do you think it's just a case of why take the risk of standing in the way of those shots? You could take him down. Is that the tactic?
No, that's not the tactic. If he comes out extremely aggressive, then I'll amp up my aggression and just match the fight speed. I've had a lot of guys come out fast against me, like Daniel Cormier in our second fight. He knocked my mouthpiece out in the first seconds of the fight. He got right in my face, but I didn't back away. I just fought at a faster pace, and that's what I'm prepared to do against Thiago Santos as well. Just fight faster.
Bit off topic here, and the last one from me. You're considered the GOAT by many people. Excuse me. Another man considered a GOAT is Artem Lobov. Did you see his bare knuckle fight with Paulie Malignaggi? Artem Lobov and his bare knuckle fight with Paulie Malignaggi?
I have not seen it.
Check it out.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but people are considering him the GOAT too?
Well, I think there's a little bit of a joke in there, but it's sort of his unofficial nickname at this point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have not seen it yet, but
You've really let Artem down with that answer, Jonathan.
Oh, crap, I'm so sorry. What's his name? What's his name again?
Artem Lobov, very good. And I heard you saying about Anderson Silva, you consider him the GOAT, right?
Yeah, I do.
So did you find Israel's attitude towards him a bit unfair, considering Anderson's a little bit older, a bit towards the end of his career?
No, I don't think it was unfair. I think Anderson held his ground great, against such a young fighter, for him to be, almost 50 years old and to come back from the injuries that he's had over these years. I thought Anderson Silva held his ground very well. And I think in a rematch between them two would be an amazing fight. I think if Anderson had more time, he could have even pulled off the victory.
Thanks very much.